Hey everybody, Mike Slifer here in the First Alert Forecast Center, and we are looking ahead at quite a few things here. We're talking about today's rain, we're talking about Erin and the tropics, we're looking ahead to the return of mugginess, your first alert to maybe even more showers, and then things will eventually turn cooler yet again. It has been a cool August, and it doesn't look like that's going to slow down anytime soon. Here are some of the latest radar estimated rain totals. We're focused on that band that stretches from Kent through Torrington and into Canton. 1 to 2 inches of rain with some locally higher amounts possible. A little bit less as you head into northeastern Connecticut and even less along the shoreline. Although we did hear from Neil in Haddam Neck, 0.45 inches of rain, so just under a half inch as of say 9:15 tonight. And we are still tracking rain across the state. Some of the heaviest rain is falling again in northwestern Connecticut, areas that have already seen some, but we're starting to see more in the eastern part of the state too. Let's zoom in here on some of these showers through Bristol and Plymouth and take you just a hair north to Harwinton and Burlington, where some of the heaviest rain has already fallen and continues to move through. So it's this strip where we'll have to watch maybe for some poor drainage flooding on First Alert Live radar, especially over the next hour or so. After that, things are expected to wind down a bit. Now, over the last 6 hours, you could see how it looked like everything was starting to finally wrap up, but we're getting that secondary push here of some rain, and that's what we see moving through northwestern Connecticut, now moving into the central and southeastern parts of the state, and this will be the case here for the next few hours. If we zoom out at take a look at the larger picture here, so western Massachusetts, Albany, New York, points west, all starting to dry out. We'll get there. It just takes a little bit more time. This is beneficial rainfall for us. The drought monitor is still showing southern Connecticut highlighted in that abnormally dry shading. So this was good for us. It's good for the lawns. It's good for the gardens. And it will continue here for the next hour and a half or so. We'll start to see the rain wind down into the pre-dawn hours tomorrow. In fact, we'll likely see some rather quick clearing during the day tomorrow, which is great if you have outdoor plans. By 11 o'clock, the clouds are starting to break up. And by sunset tomorrow could be a barn burner. We are talking about some of those lingering high clouds as Erin approaches. It'll be well offshore, but some of those high clouds could make for a great sunset tomorrow. So consider this your first alert that could be a very vibrant look to the sky. Lots of color out there. The other big story locally today was the temperature. Temperatures peaked in the low and mid and upper 60s inland, between 70 and 75 in southern Connecticut. And this is certainly the coolest day that we've seen this August, also so far this summer. And it was a record for the Hartford area, tied at the record for Bridgeport. So what we're looking at here is the coolest high. Previously for the Hartford area, it was 70 degrees, set back in 1922. So a pretty long-standing record. Records go back to 1905. Today, 63 beat that record by 7 degrees. In Bridgeport, the coolest high temperature for August 20th was 70 degrees, set in 1990, and we tied that today too. We'll take you live right now to New London. Visibility not great. Everything is looking quite wet. 58 degrees. Winds out of the northeast at 15 miles an hour. Our ICAM view in Waterbury, too. This is overlooking the green downtown. We're looking live from atop the Mattatuck Museum. It's only 54 degrees, and it is rainy. Certainly not what you might be expecting here for August. In Torrington, we can see some of that reduced visibility off in the background. Certainly a wet view on our iCam. And in New Haven, we can actually see some of the raindrops on the camera lens right now. 59 in the Elm City, which was the warm spot today with the high temperature peaking at 75, which really isn't that far below average, but certainly still cooler than average, just not quite to the extreme as what we saw in the northern part of the state. Just as a point of reference, 63 is the average high for the Hartford area around October 16th. So a little preview of what's to come in a couple months. We're looking live now in Rocky Hill toward the Hartford skyline, but we can't see it because of the rain that's falling, and we'll finish with a live look at our iCam in Middletown. Everything looking very damp right now. It is cloudy as rain keeps on moving through. Temperatures in the mid and upper 50s, and this is about where we stay for the next, say, several hours. We might even see temperatures try to slowly rise a little bit as the rain begins to wind down here through 11 o'clock tonight through midnight, too. So if you have plans to get out there, hit the links tomorrow. Green's playing a little bit slow in the morning thanks to the increased, thanks to how damp they'll be. But by the afternoon and evening, things are looking pretty good. You'll be battling a decent breeze out there tomorrow, too. Temperatures peaking in the mid and upper 60s to near 70 degrees in northwestern Connecticut, closer to, say, the lower half of the 70s through the greater Hartford area, and we'll see upper 60s to near 70 in northeastern Connecticut, too, throughout the quiet corner of the state. With a bit of an offshore wind direction, we're talking lower half of the 70s along the shoreline. Inland parts of our southern four counties likely in the 70s, too. So certainly an improvement of where we were today, if you like the warmer days, but still unseasonably cool for this time of year since our average high temperature is 83. We are still expected to be about more than 10 degrees below that number. It'll be breezy tomorrow. Wind gusts 20 to 25 miles an hour coming out of the northeast, and this is all in accordance in accordance with Erin passing offshore, and it will do so as a hurricane. Here's 11 o'clock. Notice the center of the storm a few hundred miles offshore, so we don't really see any direct impacts related to that. But what we will be dealing with is a prolonged period of easterly and northeasterly winds. That'll push some extra water into Long Island Sound. So during the high tide cycle tomorrow night, there could be some minor flooding. Old Saybrook and points west. We're thinking 1 to 2 feet of inundation in the typical prone areas for the shoreline. Here are the high tides tomorrow. 10:05 p.m. Old Saybrook, 10:45 New Haven, 11:01 Stamford. So within, say, the late evening hours into the early overnight hours tomorrow, maybe just some minor inundation. That will wind down once low tide arrives heading into Friday morning. Here is Erin right now, still a Category 2 hurricane. Maximum sustained winds of 110 miles per hour, and it's moving to the north at 14 miles an hour. We'll see that forward speed start to pick up here as it interacts with the upper level winds. Still a Cat 3 as it passes by, say, the extreme outer reaches there of the Outer Banks. So the farthest rain bands have been close to making it to the Outer Banks there, and then it starts to weaken as it passes southeast of us. We are going to see rough seas. There are gale warnings and high surf advisories for the Atlantic-facing coastline throughout Maine all the way down to parts of New Jersey. 5 to 19-foot waves. Dangerous rip currents are certainly going to be a concern here, too. When it comes to Long Island Sound, specifically small craft advisories, it will be choppy out there, especially if you're heading out into eastern parts of the Sound. Now, Erin's not the only thing we're looking at in the tropics here. The Atlantic tropical season peaks on September 10th, so about 3 weeks from where we are right now. And the tropical wave behind it, that at one point had a medium chance of forming into a named storm, now has a high chance of becoming named in the next 7 days, and the wave behind that has a medium chance. So certainly plenty to track. Some good news here is that it does look like at least that first wave, should it intensify and become a named system, will be another storm that goes out to sea. We'll just have to watch to see if there's any impact there to Bermuda. Next name on the list is Fernan, and that will be followed up by Gabrielle. So certainly plenty to track in the tropics, and we'll be the first to alert you if anything does become named. Here back at home tomorrow, breezy and unseasonably cool. Temperatures returning closer to average for Friday, and we'll get there Saturday. Sunday, we're still in the 80s, turning muggy. We keep the mugginess around on Monday. A cold front will be moving through, slowly increasing our risk for showers. Shoreline highs tomorrow will be in the 70s, back to the 80s Friday, Saturday, Sunday, into the upper 70s Monday. And then Tuesday and Wednesday next week, we actually will see some increasing sunshine, but temperatures stay below average. Out ahead of that front Sunday into Monday is when the mugginess will start to return. Now, we're not expecting anything oppressive, but still muggier than where we are right now and where we've been for most of this month. This has not been a very humid August for us, and it's been cooler than average. And it looks like that's going to continue. Models are in decent agreement that during the day on Monday we have at least a greater risk of seeing some shower activity across the state, and we still need rain even after what we saw today. Thankfully, at this point in time, it doesn't appear like we'll have much of a severe weather risk or flood risk or anything like that, but should that change, we again will be the first to alert you. Now, average high temperatures are falling. We're still in the 80s for average high temperatures through September 2nd, and then generally speaking, through the month of September, our average highs are in the 70s. By October 24th, average high falls to 60 degrees. But this cool pattern that we've been locked into, not showing many signs of change on the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, you'll note those shades of blue indicating the higher likelihood the temperatures remain below average. This is August 28th through September 3rd. So that time frame as we close out August, get through Labor Day weekend, and begin September could be running a bit cooler than average, and we certainly see the signals of that by the middle of next week. Tomorrow it's breezy and cool, near average on Friday. Saturday, Sunday, we are improving. A bit muggy out there Sunday with increasing cloudiness, but the showers likely hold off until Monday, so no impact to your weekend plans expected. Our next First Alert Weather Extra is right here, streaming live on WFSB Plus and YouTube tomorrow at 8 a.m., but you can join us on the Wax at 10 and WFSB at 11 for the latest First Alert forecast.